In this tutorial, we'll show you how to load a Google Sheet to your data warehouse using the Data Productivity Cloud. We're going to load a sheet of sales data. To start off, I'm going to open the branch I want to work in. In my case, I created one earlier called Retrieve Google Sheets Data. Now I'm going to make an orchestration pipeline by clicking Add and then Orchestration Pipeline. Then I will name it something descriptive like Extract Google Sheets Data. In the new pipeline, let's click on the plus sign and search for the Google Sheets query component, and then select it. It's now been added to the canvas and connected to the Start component, so let's click on it and set it up. We will need to set up an OAuth connection in order to allow Matillion to connect with our Google Sheet. You can choose an existing OAuth from the drop-down or click the Manage button, which I will do now as I haven't set up my OAuth connection yet. Inside of the menu that opens, let's select Add OAuth Connection. Then I'll enter a descriptive name. In my case, I'm going to call it Josh Google Sheets. And then I'm going to select Google in the provider field. For the authentication type, I'm going to select OAuth 2.0 Authorization Code Grant. Then we click Sign in with Google and follow the prompts to authorize Matillion. It's worth making sure that if you own multiple Google accounts, that you're logged into the Google account that has access to the sheet you want to pull data from. It's also worth noting that the account used for authentication doesn't need to own the spreadsheet. It just has to have access to it. Then let's navigate back to our project branch. In the configuration section of the component, we first enter the name of the Google Sheet from which we want to pull data. In my case, my sheet is called sales_data with a capital S and a capital D. Next, we need to specify whether the Google Sheet contains a header row. So, if the first row of your Google Sheet contains column names, select Yes. If the first row is just data, select No, and Matillion will automatically name the columns for you. We then have to choose between Basic or Advanced mode. Basic mode is usually sufficient for most use cases and allows you to select specific columns and rows of data. Advanced mode should be chosen if you want to write an SQL-like query to retrieve data, though for this tutorial we'll stick to basic mode. Specify the data source by selecting the sheet name within the Google Sheet that you want to pull data from. It's important to ensure the sheet name doesn't change later, as this could cause errors. If the sheet name does change, you may encounter an error like data source not found. So just be sure to update the configuration if any changes like this occur. Something else to be aware of is that if your access permissions change, you will get a 403 permission denied error when trying to access the data. In the data selection section, choose the columns you want to retrieve from the Google Sheet. Move the columns from left to right to include them in your query. Next, we configure the destination. I am going to leave mine set to the environment default, which is configured in the project settings. Finally, enter a target table name. I'm going to call mine extracted_Google_Sheets_orders_data. Before running the Google Sheets query component, keep in mind that this component can be potentially destructive. If you run the component again, it will overwrite the existing table and its data in your data warehouse. Before running the pipeline, let's just check our data using the Sample Data tab at the bottom of the Designer window. I can see my data is appearing as expected, so we can continue. So now, let's validate and then run the pipeline. After the component has run, verify that the data has been successfully uploaded to your data warehouse by checking the Task History tab at the bottom. For more videos, please subscribe to the channel, and to get started with Matillion, visit matillion.com.